So welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube video. You're here with your host GBHL Damian, and this is my hobby vlog number 41. So this is essentially the second part of hobby vlog 40 in a way. It's the bit that I cut off the end. Hopefully you enjoyed hobby vlog 40, talking about Spider Queen and Gandalf the Grey, but it was just getting a bit long, so I decided to do this bit about assembling my next set of Gundabads, which is what this vlog will be about, in a different video, because I think there'll be a fair few updates over the next few days for you. So you might have noticed a slight difference that I've got a tripod. I've been meaning to do this with a tripod for a while. I don't know if it will work, so bear with me, but I'm going to try this vlog with that. I've pinched a tripod from work, and fingers crossed it'll work. Also, before I get started, I'm going to do a live unboxing, because I received a package today which I think is going to be related to Project Gundabad. So let's see what we've got in here. What do we think it is, guys? Oh. Oh. And that's it. Ta-da! These are the bases for my Gundabad army, and they are of course by Matt Davies' Generation Shift, and they are the Forgotten Dungeon bases. And I've got 4 packs of them. Why have you got 4 packs, I hear you cry? Given that I've only got 25 models in my army, including the dismounted Bolg. Oh well, basically I just figured I'd get some more on the off chance. As soon as I start, I'm going to do my whole Dog Order army on these. So as soon as I start getting a few, what am I trying to say? As soon as I start getting some Hunter Orcs painted up and stuff, I'll be putting these on them too. So here they are, lovely Generation Shift bases. So you see there's the stonework with the kind of bits of vine and bits of metal strip on there. I don't know how many different ones there are, but I'll just show you a few of these now. But you can see that they are very clearly a forgotten dungeon that we all know and love well. There actually looks like there's quite a lot of detail on these, which is a big problem given that I'm on a huge time limit for this. But oh well, there's nothing we can do about it. I'm quite excited. I've never, if you've been following my vlogs over the years, you'll know that all my models are based in exactly the same way. I've never put any models on scenic bases before, so I'm excited to kind of see this. And Adam, whose vlogs you can follow over on IREX, there'll probably be a link below, is putting his on the same bases, so there'll be a cool kind of conformity to our army. So there you go, there's 5 of those. So that is those are the bases that I'm going to be putting them on. But today, in this vlog, what I'm going to show you is me assembling Bolg and assembling 6 Gundabads, and then the various kind of green screen bits, and green stuff bits I need to do, and bending stuff with Finecast. So it's going to be a kind of assembly blog, and I hope you enjoy it. So, time for a little update. I've moved downstairs here in the middle of this challenge week blog, watching a bit of the Olympics. So I thought while I was getting on with that, I would do some assembly. So I don't really have time to, I'm not going to sit here for 3 hours to assemble the Gundabads, but I thought I would start by assembling Bolg. So I'm going to crack this open and try and get this guy assembled in front of the telly, and I'll come back when I can show you the kit. Okay, so here we are with the various sprues out of the packet to show you how this Bolg kit works. So I'm going to start with the guy on foot, and here he is. So that comes into focus. There he goes. This is Bolg. I'm pretty happy with the cast. It's a nice, very nice model, nice sculpt, good detail on the face. There's no kind of obvious miscasts that I can see having a look at this. That's quite cool. I noticed already there's going to be a few issues with, because of the nature of his armour. It's kind of like when you clean up Finecast Mario goblins. If you have a look in here, there's a couple of these little square bits here which are almost certainly going to be the flash rivets, or whatever they're called, where I'm not sure right now if that is Finecast flash or if that is part of the armour. So I'm going to have to be a bit careful there to not destroy anything I shouldn't. I then get his pick, which looks again like a good cast here. But just keep your eye on that, because I'm going to show you something on the mounted version in a minute. The fingers seem to be good. Oh, looks hunky-dory there. So I'll be taking those off, and hopefully that model should be fairly painless to assemble, perhaps with a little bit of filling. And then go on to the big daddy warg. We get the kind of, it's a really weird looking warg. I love the Bolg model, but the warg is odd and thin. But crisp detail on the face, not a lot I can do about that. I don't have the kind of sculpting skill to change that. Another good cast of Bolg's face there. Really, really lovely. Again, hoping I can make the right call on which parts of this are armour and which parts of it are the fine cast issues. No bubbles or miscast or anything to distract me and annoy me on this, which is nice. I did try and have a good look in the box when I got him. Here's the other half of that. We've got the his last leg attached to the warg, and you can see that these two bits of the warg are going to kind of smash together and join up sort of like that. And I would imagine there might be some issues with that will need some bending to get a small crease. And then finally we've got his arms. So there's one Bolg arm with a little bit of fur where he's hanging onto the warg. And then the other one here, this is what I want to show you. You see the difference in how this weapon's cast at the top? Because those two bits in there, that bit right at the top and that bit, they are part of the weapon. You can see how the weapon should end here, with those kind of flat bits. And so I'm going to have to cut that away from that, and I just know that's going to be quite a pain with fine cast, and it wouldn't surprise me if I lose a bit of that, unfortunately, but I have to kind of do the best I can. But yeah, so there's the kit. All looks good, but as always with these things, it will require a bit of clean-up work to do. But I'm going to get on with that now, and I'll come back when hopefully I've got them assembled. And so here we are, and I am back after a very productive session of cleaning up. As you can see, I've got both my models done. So here is Bolg mounted, completely assembled. This is weird long-necked warg. Absolutely great model. Went together fairly easily. I concentrated on making sure that this join here was as good as it could be. I'm pretty happy that a thin line of green stuff will cover that. And that has meant that there's a bit of a join here in the neck, which I'll have to green stuff. It's not too bad. I've seen far worse kind of joins both in fine cast and metal, so it's not the end of the world. I'll just put a bit of green stuff under there in that gap, just to make the painted here. The arms went on pretty well. Again, the shoulder pads cover up the joints quite nicely, but I'm just going to obviously have to green stuff there under the armpit and in there, and then round the back. He's pretty good. There's a little gap there, but it shouldn't take too long. Need some green stuff. Hopefully now you can see the shape of the model. It's great. I like the way he's kind of leaning back. I just wish he had a better warg. Is the honest answer, the honest truth of it. Even if I had more time, I might consider doing some sort of conversion with this to put him on a better fell warg or something. But we do not have the time. But he's a very cool model. As you can see, I largely cut those triangles underneath the armour out. I think they're not meant to be there. I'm sure a lot of people left them because it doesn't really matter too much, but I decided to cut them out. Very, very fiddly model, particularly with things like the bear paws, the bear claws there, which are a hangover from this guy used to be, or it was continued through from the keeper of the dungeons, the guy who's in the Dol Guldur sequence in the new film. He had the bear paws on when he was Bolg. He was meant to have been torturing Bayon, and they kind of carried this through, which is cool. And you can see actually that fine cast, much as people moan, that's pretty damn good. Little bits in there. His big scary weapon thing will need straightening out. I'm going to do that when I straighten out a lot of the fine cast. But yeah, all in all, Bolg is pretty darn great. Here's the mini Bolg on foot. A lot simpler. I love this model so much. Again, his weapon will need straightening out, but he went together like a treat. Look at his face. Really good detail in the face. Great looking little model. Really cool pose. Kind of stride. He reminds me of him at Ravenhill. Kind of stride, that shot that was in the trailer, striding forward towards whoever it was, Keeley or Tariel. Can't remember exactly where it fits in. But yeah, and that all went together pretty well. And what I also did was, as we've discussed before, I think, I'm putting this whole army onto Matt Davis's abandoned dungeon bases, and there isn't one for Bolg's ridiculous oval base. Matt doesn't make one for that, and I don't just want to have one model that seems completely out of place on my standard basing technique. So what I went to do was I dug around in the garden and found some bits of slate, and ended up coming up with this. So there's the oval base, and I've got this big bit of slate coming off the top. And what happens is the doggy goes on something like that. See that? I can't see that. This is incredibly hard to do with one hand. Something like that. So he'll be kind of walking up there, and I think it really suits it, and it suits him leaning back as well, because it implies he's tilting. The only issue I've got is that to make the model fit at the moment, to kind of make him be the right kind of height, I've still got these two things on here, which are these kind of cast grass tufts, which I'd really like to get rid of because they're not going to make a lot of sense being here, essentially. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how well that comes out. Really, I might have to try and kind of bend his legs a bit, change the position on that, to see if I can do something about that. Because I'd rather get rid of them or come up with some creative way of getting rid of them. So if anyone's got any ideas for creative ways of what I could do about that, how I could leave them on the model but keep them on the rock, let me know, and it might not be too late to change it. But yeah, he's gone on that. But as I said, I had a very, very successful cleaning up session in front of the telly, so much so that if I bring these over, I've also cleaned up, and the one without the bag, I've also cleaned up my next set of Gundabads. So the next 6 that were in the packets have also been all cut off the sprues and the mould lines cleaned up and all that sort of stuff, which is cool. So yeah, I've got all my cleaning up done, which is great because I hate cleaning models up. Let's have a look at this guy. I know you've seen these before from the last set I did. But yeah, I've got 6 of the new guys done and ready to go. But none of them are assembled, and the reason none of them are assembled are because, as I said before, I'm going to do more head and arm swaps to kind of mix up the poses a lot. But I'm not going to do that in front of the TV because that's going to require a lot more kind of fiddly finesse. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is when you see me, I should be in front of my desk with a big pile of bits of Gundabads in front of me, and then hopefully make some progress on that. But that's what I've been doing in this little stage. And here we go, it's update time. And as you can see, what I now have are 6 brand new assembled Gundabad Hawks. So yeah, I've done all the conversions, I've swapped them over, and they are good to go. I need to add some green stuff to them to fill a few joins, and I need to bend some of the weapons, some of the fine cast with the hot water trick, but other than that they're done, so I'm pretty pleased with that. I thought it would be interesting to show you now and show you how I actually got to this point. And the way I did it was like this. What I basically did was set up each model by its body with my conversion behind it. So if you notice, the front row are the 6 Gundabads you can buy, and then the second row are the same body, so you should see the body shape is the same there. But getting a bit close to this, he's had a head swap, and here, that's the original, he's had a head swap and his shield's moved. Here you can see that the arms have been changed from a spearman to a swordsman, that's a head swap. That one again, the arms have been changed from a spearman to a swordsman, and here there's a head swap. So what I then did was make sure that, or try to make sure, that the bodies weren't replicating the same pose. So if I now go and line these up a bit more so you can see them. There's only one place where I've slipped, but other than that one which I'll show you in a minute, you should now notice that the heads at the very least are different. So that head's not replicated on this body. So similarly here, that head there isn't on either of these two. That head here, that's the kind of cool spiky helmet, isn't on these two. And this is the only one where I did slip, lost track somehow. And he's, oh no I haven't, no. No, I didn't lose track, hooray, it's all fine, I haven't lost track at all. Oh, I thought I had. Oh yeah, it's because these two are already, sorry. Not this time, but last time when I converted them, these two have got the same head on the same body. But yeah, it's a minor thing. And then here you can see that this guy from a spearman is now a swordsman. So assembling all 18 for the first time and looking at them, I already know what I'm going to do for my final 6. So you'll notice that the 3 on the end here are all sword and shield. So I'm going to make sure that next time I do 6, one of them, that body becomes a spearman. You notice that this body here, all 3 of them are sword and shield. So next time that one's going to be a spearman. This one here will be a sword and shield, so there's 2 of each. This one here will be a sword and shield, so we get 1 sword and shield on that one. And this one here will be a sword and shield. And this one here will be a sword and shield. So hopefully that'll all work out. But basically it's just kind of chopping and changing them to make them all individual. I think it's working well, so I'll show you here. This was probably my favourite body. I think this is my favourite Gundabad model. I think I've talked about this in a previous blog, but I really like him. So you're working from a decent body. And what's happened here is he's had an arm swap and a head swap. The arm and the head were from the same other Gundabad. It makes a nice pose that I realised after I'd done it. Actually makes him very similar to the Gundabad captain. So he's obviously trying to emulate his boss, but never mind. You see he's coming off his base, because I haven't actually glued these guys down. As you now know, these are going on the abandoned dungeon bases from Generation Shift, so I don't want to glue them, so I'm going to kind of glue tack them down, and then hopefully when I undercoat them, that'll just tack them to the bases enough to paint them. This guy here running forward, he then basically got the arm and the head from this guy. That was a kind of direct swap there. It was quite a cool pose. This one kind of came out pretty well, I think, with him sort of stepping forward, raising the spear up, which is quite nice. Quite pleased with that. And this one's probably the weakest of the of this batch, to be honest. His body looks a bit stunted for some reason, but hey ho. It's good to get a bit of variety in there. Don't worry too much on any warriors. This one came out very well. I was pleased with him. It's quite a cool. So that started from that body there. It's that guy. As you can see, he's had a head swap and a complete set of arm swap. It's fun. And finally, this bloke. He came out quite well, I thought. So there we go. They are quite easy to convert because of the kind of block nature of their armour. So what you tend to get is the shoulder pads are quite easy to slice off and then stick back on, and the heads they don't have a lot of flowing hair. They're quite easy to pop to kind of interchange a bit. So it's quite a fun process to do this. So there are my next 6 that I'll be starting on sometime in the future. Hopefully quickly in the future. You'll either see some progress on these or on Bolg. I'm going to cut the video here. So none of them broke. So yes, as I was saying, hopefully there'll be progress on Bolg or on those 6 Gundabads, or both perhaps, by the next hobby vlog next week. Or possibly even later in this one, because I really don't know whether it's going out and get so confused. But we'll see. But yeah, that's what I've been up to recently, and I'll be back with an update soon, somewhere. Okay, and I'm back. So you've seen me basically assemble all these models. You've seen me drop them all on the floor, and now I'm getting to the point where I'm going to be doing some green stuffing to them and some bending of the fine cast. So that's my evening really. It's just gone 9:30, it's just coming up to 9:30 now, and I've got basically about 3 hours ahead of me, I think, before I go to bed, and I'm hoping to get all this lot here green stuffed up and bent into shape and ready to go. The other thing I might well try is to get some of these bases ready with pins. So at the moment there's no pin marks in their feet, and Matt was very kind of Matt's big tip was pin them to the bases. So I've never done that before. Well, I've done it occasionally, but not with warriors as a group. I have no idea how I feel about doing it to the models that I've already painted, but certainly with these 6 I'm going to give it a go if I can. So I've got my pin vices here, and I'm going to get some paper clips, and have a go at pinning some models ready to go onto these fantastic bases. So yeah, that's my night ahead of me. I've got about 3 hours. I've got my audiobook all queued up and ready, and I'll come back at the end of the night and show you what I achieved. Okay, so I've come back with a bit of an update, and I've been doing some work, and I've done the pinning. So they're all over here, so I'll have to bring them in. So what I've basically done is got 6 Gundabad bases like this of the gentle. Sorry, it's not my filming light. There you go. 6 of these Gundabad bases with a little bit of a paper clip coming up like that. That was drilled into with my pin vise, with and then all of my Gundabads have had a hole drilled in the foot, and then all we do is slot him on there, and there he is, ready to go. So when I glue him on, I just give him that little bit more support. I think he looks pretty cool. I can put him on, see what else we've got. Put this guy on. They don't all necessarily stand up, but it'll give them a bit of support. We've got him going on there, something like that. We have this dude. Maybe walking forward a bit like that. It's quite cool. We have this dude. There's been awful Blue Peter stuff here for you. Should have prepared it a bit earlier. And we have this dude. It's quite fun kind of finding a base that suited each pose. And last but not least, we have this dude. I've just done. There you go. Some of them are quite hard because their feet were very, very fragile. I've also done all the fine cast bending. So I don't know if you remember, but here is Bolg, and his axe is looking in better shape now. Or his pick. Same with mounted Bolg down here. It's looking a lot straighter. And all the Gundabads spears as well. As ever, this dude's is it that one? Yeah, this guy's sword is just almost impossible to straighten. There's too many kinks in it. I found it every time I've had it. But there we go. So I've done the fine cast bending, and I've done the pinning, which went quite well. So I'm not going to do the pinning on my painted ones yet, at least. The only other thing I've done is I obviously wanted to put the thing in put this in so that the paint wouldn't fill the hole that I've made for it. But then I've got the issue here that the same thing could happen on the foot, so I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to paint these yet. I still think I might blue tack them to the base possibly, or something. Just attach them with a small bit of super glue and paint them. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to have a think about quite how I'm going to paint them now. So yes, so it is now 10:30, and I'm now going to move on to my green stuff and get some of that done, and hopefully fill all the gaps. And that'll be it for tonight. So I'll come back when I've got that done. Okay, and I am back. It is now 12:30, so it is the end of my 3-hour slot, and I'm happy to say I have finished. So I saw these guys pinned in a minute ago, or about an hour ago actually, but you now see lurking around, hopefully. Get this up. You should be able to see some green stuff going on under his armpit there. On him, doesn't matter if they come off. Some of these need more than others, but you should be able to see in the armpits. That's all been green stuffed in. It's where I've done the converting, so it's the armpits and around the neck joins that I've put most of the stuff in. Bit around under his hair there, he was alright other than that, I think. This guy, just a bit in there. This dude, a fair bit, his head comes off a bit flat, so I've had to put it all in there, if you can see that. And this guy had quite a lot of work to do building up his arms. This weapon here, when you convert it, I find that it rarely fits properly, so you have to do a lot of filling to give him some kind of arms there. And I think this guy had a fair bit to do as well, didn't he? In one of the armpits, maybe. I don't know. But there we go. So they've all been green stuffed. And perhaps most importantly, so has the boss. So here he is. Bolg! So he had a fair bit to do. You can see the green stuff hopefully running down the back of the warg's fur. Some stuff in the neck there. And he had bits kind of in the armpits. And around the back there. Bit up the bum. And I also have pinned this warg into here, so I drilled into this piece of slate, managed to get a fair bit down and got a little pin in there, and then I've glued this foot down and I cut this, I don't know if you remember seeing it, but this had a little peg on it attaching it to the ground, but I've cut that away and just left the paw. It's just his paw there, but then I've left this one here and I used the green stuff I had left to hopefully build it up into a kind of little rocky thing, or I might make it into a tree stump or something, but I just kind of carved a rough outcrop there, and hopefully that'll look alright on that little outcrop. It looks a bit weird, but I think I needed a bit of support from there. But there is Bolg. I think I'm gonna try and build this up, maybe put some broken slate around here in the bottom. But I'm really kind of happy with how that looks, and he feels pretty sturdy, which is good. I was a bit worried about the 3 points of contact on this kind of holding him onto the base, but I think he's feeling pretty good. And so there is my leader. I'm going down there to keep the guys in check. So there we go. That is my hobby vlog, my next hobby vlog, where I've managed to, I know it's been a bit of a boring one because it's mainly assembly, but a lot, as you've seen, a lot goes into assembling these guys, from the cleaning up to the converting to the green stuffing to the pegging and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully I'll be back next week with an update on at least one of these things. Next time you see a vlog, I would hope that either the 6 orcs are done or Bolg mounted perhaps is done. I haven't decided which I'm going to start on, but that's my plan. So there we go. Hope you've enjoyed that. Until next time, don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe. Support your Hobbit host by clicking on the links below. Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Support your Hobbit hobby, and happy strategy battle gaming.